Back in the room, I'm back in the room, I'm back. Yeah, I'm gonna... Okay, in the first... I'm not gonna even make this 2 parts. I already just did some of this. But guess what? What happened to me when I went to New York a year ago? I can't really say this because the FBI might come for me, but when I went to one of the beaches, well, not New York beaches, it was in my New York trip, so I went to other states nearby. But when I went to the beach, I saw something I should have never seen. Somebody was changing their child in front of anybody. Like, oh my god, I was traumatized. Like, man, why would you have to make your kid change and get a full-blown changing thing so we don't see that? Like, just imagine who could be on the beach, like creeps or something. Aren't you aware that exists? Like, nope, they're not aware. They don't care. If there's some creepy man on the beach, they don't care. All they care is to just get it done, get it done, Lana Ray. Okay, I should have not done that with, what is it called? Kochi no Kento song. No, I should have not made it. Get it done, get it done, Lana Ray, get it done, get it. Do and dance, get it done, get it done, Lana Ray, get it done. I don't know why I made it Lana Ray. I don't know what Lana Ray has to do with anything. Except she's like, slay, that ate. What happened to girls slaying? They're saying that ate? What the frick does 8 mean? Like, I think of 8 as in the number 8, or you ate a sandwich. I don't think of 8 as in you cooked. It's you cooked, not you ate. You cooked. Yeah, unless you want me to pull up a picture of a Monko from an anime, then I can make you. Then you can see that, and you can say you ate. Ha! Of course, I'm kind of conscious about showing this, but nah, this is it's just straight up. Yo. You will never guess what I found. Hey, yo. Yeah, I'm not gonna even pull it up. I'm not even gonna pull it up on screen. 'Cause Lana Ray, if you can find the blasted song, I will bring you on to a dance. Let's find the greater song, because you are not by yourself. And I know that after one step I made, I just realized what it was, just a sound of boom, boom, boom. Okay, whatever, some stupid get it done Lana Ray melody I made up. I'm doing a remake on a drawing I made like 4 months ago, and this is going to be a remake, but I'm going to still count it as another drawing video. Bueno, Kusuri Nanoda. She says Nanoda, like Nanoda. Like, bro! Well, I guess everyone has their different ways of talking. Especially these country people. Y'all balls. Your balls. Y'all ball. That's what everyone says. Y'all ball. And of course, I've got to say, my sister was criticized for using y'all slang. Which I think I supported the criticism, honestly. Because we don't need country people in Florida. Get out. I'm not being racist, but get out. We don't need country people in Florida. Just go back to the countryside, or go back to where you were. We don't need country people. We just need your consciousness. Yare narenai. Yare nare. Yare narenai. Yare narenai. I cannot do that. Or I cannot do it. Well, you could just say dekinai, but if you're saying like I cannot try doing that, then I cannot try doing it, then you could just say yare narenai. Yare nare. Yare narenai. I don't even know if that's a Don Dom Gru. Yes. Don Dom. We watched Despicable Me a year ago. Get out! I actually looked decently good. Spy Family. I have these same figures in oh crap! I spit on my drawings, stupid me. Kami-sama arigato. Okay, that's an old song, but it's pretty nice. I mean, it's an old song, but bro, old is like 20 years ago. That's like only 9 years old. Oh, Anya Forger, Now and Then. I have the Buckies. Look at this. I have Anya Forger. I have the modern day one. This, honestly, I think now that I think about it, it's actually a pretty underrated one. Now that I actually like figures, this is actually underrated. If only, I know, look, they never made a figure arts of the Hyakuno series or even Hololive. Instead, Good Small Company made those, but Good Small Company ain't good. I mean, I know they're good, but they're just expensive, and they're not even Bandai. So it's like, not a point. I was back in my days, my drawing desk looked like this. And damn, I would have had no space for figures. I used to have this, which I have all of these items, but except with the disk drive. And I used to display my... I don't know why I used to display... Yeah, I'm glad my transition to history has changed. This was the past, my archives. I purchased the game a long time ago for... And I have the game. Yeah, guys. I have the game. Haru da yo. Hatteru. And also, of course, have the messages of the Fat Kid, because why not? We love to archive our worst enemies. Yeah, do not. Do not. This kid is just way too overweight. Now, I need to watch my weight too. I'm not criticizing her only. I need to watch my weight as well. Oh yeah, guys, this is actually what my drive looks like. Look. Before I finish this Yakuzen City, Yakuzen City drawing. So Yakuzen City. Before I finish Yakuzen City, I want to show Yakuzen City Chan no omoidasaseta. Yakuzen City. Before I finish Yakuzen City. Yeah, I have to repeat it many times to get it right, but Yakuzen City is, of course. Before I finish her, I would like to show you. Now, of course, I have the drive, but it's all the way up there. Yeah, I'm not getting that thing back down. And here's my Miku. And my lovely figures with even more. Wow. Okay, let's get to the thing. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I'm sorry for swearing, but dang it. I forgot this was on Buzz. Brrrr. I have to use Twitter after this. I had the chance for the morning. From now on.
If you're wondering what these Lego buildings... No. Hello, everyone. If you're wondering what these Lego buildings... No, not that.
Like when I used to drink tea.
You may or may not recognize it, but I'll give you a short recap. It was a peripheral for the N64 called the DD, and it was for floppy disks, and it kind of was a flop.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what we're talking about here. I built one in Lego. The reason it's not done right now, but I am only taking a video to show you how it works. So, if I can show you really quick, you have this floppy disk. I built it myself, by the way. Then...
Yeah, see, that is how it works. You're supposed to insert it, and there's a spring. Yeah, you're supposed to insert it, and it's a spring. Now, I actually colored out the drive part, so you can kind of see where the rubber drive would have been, because it kind of looked a bit weird. So, I actually made that difference. So yeah, also, yes, it is highly true that the bricks were not the same color, so I just ended up doing a huge paint job, so it looked all the same and even.
You put this piece on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it did used to have a hole, but I removed that because it was too much work to make the drive thing stay still. Yeah, it is kind of hard.
Insert it. The floppy disk is in. And this is the piece that keeps it in.
Yeah, it is.
If you want to know how it works, I'll show you from the top. So, as you see, I'm going to release this piece.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to do, like eject the disc. Because doing it through the button would just be impossible. I mean, I'm not going to tear up my drive just to try to do that. I'm going to just leave it as is, because at least it even lets you insert the disc like one. I like that it sticks out of it, so then it doesn't...
It's right out like that. That is a Lego floppy.
Well, I colored it green to match with the green drive I made for it.
A Lego disk drive. And Lego, please take this idea into consideration and pay...
Unfortunately, Lego doesn't give two slops, and they don't care. They're just their own corporation. if they were gonna take the idea, they're gonna just steal it from me and give me nothing.
Enough money to buy a real one. I really haven't.
Well, I now have one, but I had to work for it myself. RIP.
Been trying to get a disk drive in my hands for quite a while.
Well, I do have one in my hand.
Anyways, that's it for today's video. Mega Mayor out.
Yep. So guys, that is what happened, and well, I was able to get a drive, but that was my Lego drive.
Happy birthday, Grandma, and...
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Yacht reveal. I used to ask streamers to do a yacht reveal. Now, oh yeah, I thought that was a progress step. I haven't seen my progression to the build yet in any of these. Now, I kind of deleted PKXD because it was getting a bit old and it was taking out my device space, so RIP. Yeah, this is what it actually first looked like, and the only thing I really did was painted more of the edges and changed out these things, and also edited this part heavily to make it more improved. I also had to change a few things of here, because before it had no buttons, and now it has the... Yeah, see, I touch grass. Look, see, I touch grass. See, I touch grass. Any shoot at that. Yeah, see, look. It took me... How long, man? Hold on. Mate. Okay, 2024 the 12th. It only took me like 4 months the most to get a drive. 4 months it took me to get the drive. That wasn't because I was working, that was because I was looking for a listing, so... And then, because that's the 4th month, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, around by the 8th month-ish, I paid it off. Wait, 8th? Yeah, around this point, I paid off my drive already, so... Yeah, it was $1,000, but I am having my drive because I like it. Now, I haven't found any CDs, but if I do find any Hyakano CDs or any of the Oshinoko CDs, then I will use this to play the songs on there, because that'll be pretty cool. Arigatou, 大好きになってくれて世界一幸せにあげたよ彼女ですから楽しい優しい嬉しいって大好きになって大好きだってバルル君のことほんと大好き君のすべてをそっとで瞬間終わったか天気は人を進めないOkay, I'm gonna stop clowning around because I just wasted like 10 minutes. So yeah, boys, we were talking a lot about my past, and, well, I used to draw some stuff, but at least I didn't know what communism was. Yeah, because I was born in America, But if you were born in one of those countries, your brain would have to know what it is. Or you wouldn't even know what it is, and you would just unknowingly live in it. In this case, I didn't have to live in communism, because we're in the great America. That doesn't mean you can go ahead and be bad and abuse our laws. That is not why Washington gave us freedom. Washington did not establish this country to make us do whatever we want.
It was so we didn't have to be controlled by the British. You hear this, Jesse Rain? We didn't want to be controlled by the British. That's why the US came, because the British kept dominating. And despite all their hard work through wars, while Canada's just easily declared themselves independent and got 9 million square meters, we had to fight hard to get our territory. We even had to fight against the Mexicans. While Canada just said, "Oh, I want to be independent from the British. Even though I still have a British slur accent, I still want to be independent." And well, Canada said, "Kiss my butt, I'm gonna be independent," and boom. The British literally lost to that. Well, nowadays, the UK's a chill guy. They're actually a chill guy now. Like, the King of England, the King of, not England, the King of the UK, he's a chill guy. He's a chill guy. I mean, he's pretty chill. As long as you don't, like, obviously try to invade them, they're chill. They're not going to expand. They're chill with Ireland. They're chill. It's just those Falkland Islands. That's why they don't really like Argentina, because Argentina allegedly claims the Falkland Islands are theirs, while they claim it's their islands, and oh, it's a whole fight for these tiny islands in South America. So yeah, that's why Canada plus USA hits hard, because Canada didn't even do anything to get their territory. They just said independence. And they didn't become tiny colonies. No, they got a whole full-blown territory. Oh, man. And then they even had the balls to try to get the Panhandle of Alaska. Wow. Wait, was that the British or the... I don't know. Maybe it was the Canadians. Yeah. I'm sure it was the Canadians, yeah. And then these Canadians had the balls to try to get the Alaskan Panhandle. Like, come on. You're already bigger than us. We don't need you trying to do it. Well, no offense, like, more than half of their land is uninhabitable, so, same story with Australia, so, yeah, RIP. We had to fight for our land hard, but our land just happened to be very habitable, while theirs just sucked to live in. This is why we see a lot more lumberjacks in Canada than here. So they just stay in the woods. I'm not gonna stop typing in my chat. Canada plus USA hits hard. Remakes are not easy. I just feel my crotch. It's like, oh, it hurts, man. Now, the remake is looking better. I'm gonna give that. The remake does look a lot better. Miss Yakuzen is looking very good. Yakuzen is... Damn, I don't know how she got such a big chest.
You know, in her regular form, she got nerfed. In this form, she ain't nerfed. She's buffed all the way. I'm gonna tell you, she is not KSI. She is beyond KSI's imaginations. Now, I am gonna say this drawing does surely have a lot to do with KSI. But that doesn't matter, because anyways, who does give two slops if it's KSI or not? Really, the closest thing I could find to Yakuza being a character is like this one company, but it's not even the regular version of her or the grown version. Like, it's just her. Nah, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I kind of hated going to Chili's for Universal with Grayson. Grayson, which is my brother. Yeah. Brother. And then, of course, I had my cousin as well, which I didn't like getting Chili's there with my cousin in Universal, because he always gets greedy. Nah, that kid is like, nah, you talk about Hyakuno one more time and I slap you up the face. I'm like, ara, kimi no koto ga dai suki na 100人の彼女 suki na 100人の彼女. It's like, what the fuck is he saying? And I'm like, kimi no koto ga dai suki na suki dai suki na 100人の彼女. It's like, shut the fuck up. That's what it feels like. Nah, bro. And I literally drew 2 Hyakuno drawings. And won't you know, my sister, that damn bastard. You know what that bastard did? She took my drawing and I knew she took it and threw it out. Because the next time I went in that car, it wasn't there. And that day, I have not forgiven her since then. Yeah. I don't forgive her. Because how the flip, when I take my time and effort on artwork, you just come here and take it. You piece of trash. You don't have to be a piece of trash to do that. Like, it wasn't even sus. I'm gonna admit it to you. There was no part showing. It wasn't even sus. It makes me wish why I still care about my sister. Now, I know this may sound like criticism I'm talking about, and it is. Yeah, probably Hyakuno is banned in Cuba, actually. In fact, it probably is. I mean, Cubans, I know the Cuban government is corrupted, obviously, but probably with that, they're like, nah, brother, you can't be one. Like, they can control you, basically. So, they're like, you don't want it, and you don't want it, or we're gonna put you in jail. Or worse, executions can happen. I think if it's like a really bad crime, like threatening the leader or something, then you can get executed, or something crazy. Yeah. I don't support the country of Cuba by their government, but I gotta say, at least they're, I don't know if this is true or not, but at least they're moderate for what people watch. I mean, they're like, you don't have a freedom of what you watch, but at the same time, you don't have a freedom of what you do with your life as well. It's like either you work on a farm or you open a restaurant and you give like 50% of your money to the government, basically. What they basically do is just take your money and they just give you the government amount of money. And that's it. Literally. So anybody who tries to open a shop or anything, profits are not going to exist. This is why investors and rich people do not live in communist countries, because they're going to just get their money sucked out by the governors. Rich people are not stupid, and they don't want to live there. Not even rich people like it. I'm telling you the truth in what I've probably heard from a few Cubans. I mean, I haven't directly heard from a few Cubans, but I've been told from somebody who heard from Cubans and then passed to me. So, from somebody else who heard about what happened with the Cubans, well, not a good place to be to, but at least they do one thing good, and it's that they moderate what you watch. So anyways, back in the country of freedom, where the bald eagle is now an official mascot of our country, we know what to say. Grayson was not happy. He did not want to be near me. The chance he saw my sis, he was like, nah, get out! I'm like, Ada, go to the shop. It's like, heck no! He doesn't want to be near me, boy. When I'm buying figures, he's like, I don't want to be near this weeb cousin I have. Brother. Hopefully, yeah. It's okay. I don't want to be near this weeb cousin, boy. He's just obsessed with mommy milk and all that crap. Get me out. Well, probably my cousin would have been the same exact thing if he wasn't as disciplined, because dang, in Louisiana, you are really disciplined there. Like, first of all, in the countryside of Louisiana, internet is obscure. I mean, you can get it, but you have to be Monaco rich to get internet. And second of all, my cousin, he is not buying it. He's like, nah. Because if his mother found out he was watching Hyakano, just like me, he'd probably get killed. Not killed, but he'd probably get very, very cooked. Like, his mama is not gonna let him watch Hyakano. And I mean, I can understand, because I didn't know this, but the show is apparently MA audiences. Like, how? You know why? Thin ice! That's why. Body. We're walking on thin ice, and I just know it right now. It is just so thin. I'm about to fall. Yeah, I'm gonna be on that thin ice. I'm gonna step on that thin ice, and I won't fall into the pit. Yeah. Even if you tell me I can't do it, congratulations, you haven't died. Bro, I just revoiced your song. Yeah, that one song, Hosho. That one song, Hosho Marine made, was like just walking on thin ice. I could just hear Antarctica's ice breaking apart on that one. I felt it when the ice was about to break. The eyes! No! They look wrong! Chigaimasu. Chigo. Of course it's wrong, idiot! Ara ara. Like ara ara. Like Yakuzen ara ara. I could just hear her saying ara ara. You know, this is literally my wallpaper. No jokes. Because I don't use a translator, and I'm the gifted, what do you call it? I'm the gifted Riley B. I can translate this. Okay, she's saying, ara ara, rentaro, which, I don't want to even say this word, which lewd stuff do you like? And then this one saying, my milkers are big, aren't they? And it's saying the new wallpaper is making your heart go crazy, or making your heart beat, because Doki Doki is like a onomatopoeia for your heart when you're like beating. And then like mata echi shitaina. And like again, I'm not even gonna say like half the stuff. You can just guess. As like dakara o I sawari nasai. Like sawari nasai. What she's saying, that's why. So please, so touch. Oh my god, I don't even want to say it. Oh, no Diddy. No Diddy. I'm not gonna say it. But okay, you kind of, if you can read Japanese, then good, then boy. But if you don't, good for you, because you can keep your innocence. Ara ara. Rentaro-kun, dono ecchi mono ga suki deshou ka? It's like, atashi no oppai onki da ne. It's like, atarashii wallpaper ga doki doki shitteru. Mata ecchi shitai na. It's like, dakara oppai sawari nasai. Yeah. Please do not translate that. It's like, ara Rentaro-kun. Bro! Brother! I can't, man. I cannot translate that. As Riley B, I'm gonna keep your innocence. So, as Riley B, I'm not gonna translate it. Now, what I said was pretty, what I wrote here was pretty pro and generic talk. But it was also as well sus talk, so that's why the maru is used in a lot of these sentences, because I'm not gonna actually, so that's why the maru or the circle the maru is used here. So then so that it's like basically just, kind of swear words have like a censoring thing, or like we add like the star thing on there. Maru is like the circle can also be used for that. Like, they don't use that star thing we use. Instead, we just use the maru marks to do that. Instead, they use the maru mark. So they sometimes use a circle to cover out words, or they just use all circles completely. Yeah, these were just sentences I were reading, and how do I know how to read them? Because, of course, I am not a shoshinsha, and I can obviously read all three reading systems. Well, the third one is... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, the third one is, of course, complicated, and I'm never gonna guarantee you that I can read every single kanji and all of its pronunciations, but I can read a good chunk of it. And sometimes I can read a good chunk of it in different pronunciations, like shin and atarashi. So atarashi and shin, They use the same exact character, but Shin is like connecting it to another word to make new something, and then atarashi is like it's like an adjective that you can use on other words that don't have this component with the kanji by itself. So for instance, if you want to say new waffle or atarashi waffle, you could use that, or atarashi kora. Then you could actually use that because there is no way you can connect Shin onto it. So with Shin being not usable, you can do Hatarashi Kora. So these are just examples I'm telling you for your verbness. Now, if you don't care and give two slaps, whatever, yours. But I am going to tell you, it is okay to use Romaji for at least 5 to 6 months the most. But the least you should use it is like 2 to 3. Like, please learn hiragana and katakana before learning kanji. Or just learn them all at once. Just learn hiragana first because that's going to be the most useful one and the least complicated. And then use katakana for words. And don't get confused with words like ecchi because they sometimes use katakana to like express differently as well. It's also used often for onomatopoeias. I already said that. So do not get confused as that is often used as well. So, and then for kanji, well, kanji can be used. Technically, you can use the other two alphabets to literally write everything, but it will confuse your mind, and this is why no spaces exist. Because why do you need spaces when you can already read it perfectly? In English, we need spaces because not all our words use capital letters. Because if we broke the laws of grammar and did that, we wouldn't need spaces either. It just would trigger our brains harder. That is why it is super hard to really read everything in Romaji and kind of understand its meaning unless you already read it previously in standard Japanese. If you don't read it standardly, you're not going to understand the meaning. So with our recap, I want to basically say it is not that hard, and if you really want to know what this means, just learn yourself, because I'm not going to tell you for your innocence. But, matto, maku, as I really didn't want to do this today, but guess what? I thought I was going to be able to do work yesterday and do this today. But heck no! It had to be today. So, yeah. I'm deciding to do a remake because we need remakes every now and then, so. We can already see this look pretty nice. I can already see the eyes looking nice, and then Ara. Yeah. If you use Ara like a daily basis, look, if Ara is the only word you know, you need to get some help. Or if you only know certain words, which I'm not going to teach you, because you don't need to know them. Because unfortunately, I learned those words without even learning them. I mean, Duolingo, which I think is kind of AI slop, but you can use that as a Kickstarter to learn your systems. But not even Duolingo or the people who try to teach you, of course, basic Japanese, they're not going to tell you explicit words or verbs. And I'm not going to teach you either. Because, first of all, you'll get demonetized, of course. Second of all, you don't need to know that. I, unfortunately, learned it the hard way, and, well, I was taught of it and memorized it unintentionally. Manko was probably one of my words I will never forget. And then there's, of course, oh god, there are a lot of words. I mean, we can say they aren't good words because they're technically areas that aren't good. But as in explicit words, well, there are a few explicit words that you sometimes often hear, but it's not really nice to say them. And then there's just those words that are just straight up sus. Like, if you, I don't want to say it, but if you wanted to translate lewd, it would actually literally be this right here. That's why in some, like, videos, they just literally put a mutter in the word, because it's like, it's kind of like saying the S word. Not S word as an SH, but the other S word. It's kind of like that, and it's very, very, very sus to say. Because, yes, of course, the S word is the same, but you could also describe it with that as well. Kind of like we have other ways to say it as well, like... And just saying, don't be a sussy baka like me, like I was. Because even the balls had to learn the hard way. And you don't want to be like Mr. Who's the Balls, who had to learn the hard way. And that is why I hate to draw NSFW. And I hate it because it's just... very sus. I know I'd rather get political and draw about communism than draw that, honestly. Because at least with communism, they ban that kind of stuff, and they hate that kind of stuff. I don't agree with the idea of communism, but if I had a choice to either draw that or communism, I'd probably choose communism. Because hammer and sickle, maybe a few political leaders, that's it. But with sus stuff, you have to do all kinds of crap that you don't want to do. So I'd rather draw communism than that. In fact, I can write Kyosan Sugi right on this paper with no problem. But writing the words Manko Oppai, those words are kind of... I mean, Mune is like more of a standard word. It can be used for both genders because you're talking about the chest of your body. But it can also be used to describe that chest area, if you know what I mean. But if you're not specific, it can just mean chest, like the chest of your body, like, yeah, that area. Mune is not really a bad word, so I can say that word's okay as long as you don't use it the wrong way. Yeah, that rhymes, it's okay as long as you don't use it the wrong way. Especially for anatomy purposes, it's really not that bad. I'm gonna just say, like, really the word isn't bad, it's just if you use it in the wrong context, it does become bad. Now, the other two words, well, yeah, that's just straight up explicit. If you're not a sussy baka, you would never say that. Better safe than sorry, so don't say that in public. Especially if you're traveling to that country. Do not say that in public. You are disrespecting not only their culture, but you're also disrespecting them as well. And you don't want to be disrespecting the locals. I mean, that ain't good. Like, some foreigners don't have the balls to have respect, and they do all kinds of stuff. Like, I feel so sad for those foreigners. I mean, not foreigners. I feel so sad for those locals. Like, that have to deal with the stupid tourists that do... I mean, of course, if I went there, I would never do that stuff. No, in fact, I would use respect and be respectful to them. I do not... If you're a tourist that did that to a country before, almost any country, I don't really care if it's North Korea or anything. In fact, nobody's going there. But... if you, no matter where it is, if you just respect the locals, you're just being Unless they did it to you first, then nah, you can't. No. You're a visitor. You're not the local. You don't know what it's like there. That's like if I straight up came here and if I was a foreigner in America and just straight up disrespected American culture and threw trash at the Statue of Liberty. Like, that's the same thing. I know New York has a tiny bit of pollution, but that's what happened in France. France is like, come on in, tourists, and ruin our city even more. Yeah, kind of a terrible place to go to now. And Mimi, so the Mimi. Tsugi, Mimi, Kaku. I draw ear next. これって髪や耳。あらあら、書いた。Probably for my... What did I just break? Probably for my... Oh god, it's been 51 minutes. 申し訳ございませんでした. I'm very sorry. I'm like very, 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 very sorry that it's been that long, man. Stupid distracting talk I did. Alright. I don't really care about what the people say. If you shun me, I don't care if you criticize me. And yes, it won't show it completely. I am aware, guys. I'm aware about what happened on Monday. I'm aware. Sorry that I jump scared you guys like that. And it was really bad. Well, anime isn't really that. Well, depending on what category you're watching, it doesn't really get that bad unless you choose to watch that category. That's on you. Because it's just like any other show. Like, with any other show, it can be one thing, but then it can be another thing. Suki ni natte kurete sekai ichi shiose Sekai shiose ni shiawase ni ageta yo Shiawase ni ageta Kanoujo desu kara. Yeah, I kind of don't really like my face right now because I'm looking a bit of Kim Jong-un! La la la, yo yogan, chicken, Steve no yogan chicken umaizo. Bruh, that's the Japanese version of lava chicken. No, I think the Japanese version is better because it's not annoying, actually. It's genuinely good. It's not an annoying song. And I don't really think it has any, like... It doesn't use the H word at all. I mean, I know I've said swear words on this video, but I don't want to swear as much. Like, the vocabulary, according to what I'm hearing, is not as explicit. Well, I mean, it isn't supposed to. It's a PG movie. But I mean, like half the stuff in the Minecraft movie, I'm gonna say,
If we were in like 2000 or lower, that wouldn't be allowed to be rated as PG. Like half the stuff on there. Ada, Grace, Ada, my cousin, you should know! Yeah, if my cousin comes to visit me, he's gonna see the dang collection of figures I have and be like, my cousin is a weeb! Yeah, but for real though, he is gonna say that and be like, nah! And I'll be like, how's my collection? He's like, good, just to keep his yacht covered. But in reality, he's like, nah, my cousin's a weeb. He went from talking to a fat kid on Roblox to... He went from talking about his Roblox game to being a weeb. Ada, but what's really wrong with that? There is. Meh! It's mostly sus stuff, that's what's wrong. But as long as you don't do that, Shakuna was totally not influencing that, then it's not bad. Now, I have said many times, so yeah, my cousin, oh my cousin, oh cousin, what do you like, what do you hate? Nani ga kirai, nani ga suki. Because I cannot please you and be the perfect cousin. Oh wow, this is actually looking better than the OGs. No, I'm not gonna put up that song. Hold on. Yo, this is looking OP, man. This is like OP aura. Yeah, I think because I like deleted all my videos that were in the storage thing, I can make this video longer. Ada. Yeah, Yakuza's bra is like, damn. But why purple though? Why purple shell? I don't know, I find a uniqueness to the character, actually. The thing is, the character designs are actually unique by genuinely. I just don't find the other stuff about it so unique. I find it generic, like the same and plain. I mean, this is what happened with Disney and Pixar. They fell off. Like, there's a lot of anime shows that are dominating Disney's movies. Like, you know when it's bad, when literally Dandadan is better than Elio. You know it's bad when that happens. Pixar fell off. Disney fell off. Sony, well, they're rising a bit. And Universal is rising as well. It is the end of an era. Disney used to dominate the 1930s and the 2000s, but they fell off after that. Their last decent movie was Frozen, and then they got frozen in time. As Disney wanted to milk their animators, kind of like what sometimes happens in a few anime studios, they also milk their animators. And their animators get milked into doing lots of work for little money. Because Elio was slop, man. I didn't even come to watch that movie. In fact, if it's free, I'm not watching it. I want them to pay me to watch it. Because I'm not watching Elio for free. Because that's slop. Like, I bet you could have the whole seat to yourself and say 6-7 without a problem. That is how empty the seats to Elio were. Whoever made... I'm gonna tell you, maybe only half the theaters agreed to putting Elio in their theater. And even a Netflix movie became more successful than that. And we all know that streaming services don't really go as well as actual theatrical movies. Nah. You know, I'm gonna say Lightyear was a slop, and all these other newer movies were slops. And I don't even want to know what's gonna happen with Toy Story 5. Is it gonna be better or worse? Like, at this point, everything I see is gonna become slop. Yep, ada. You know, I honestly rather troll communism than sus stuff. Even though, yes, some CIA agent might come up on my door, but it's better than some police coming up to me on the door for something sus. Well, actually, it's the total opposite. You actually get more punishments for supporting stuff that's political than stuff that's sus. Yeah, that's true. But in the long run, for your heart and consciousness, I think it's better to go political, honestly. I know I shouldn't talk about this political stuff, and I might get a huge demonetization or worse, a ban on YouTube, but I'm risking it, so please subscribe, because I'm risking talking about political stuff on YouTube. Channel 登録よろしくお願いします。チャンネル登録お願いします。Yeah, I think it was よろしくお願いします for channel 登録. Yeah, but now I see why my sister, like, a year ago said it kind of sounded like Roshiago, because in Roshiago, it does sound like... Yeah, it does sound like Russian, but it's not. Japanese and Russian are not the same. But yes, they do have similarities, thanks to the Karufuto area that's owned by Russia. They're basically close to, they're basically close to them, so. Because of Karufuto not being a part of it, they technically used to share a border with Russia. But because the Karufuto area ended up being a part of Russia again, well, they don't share a border with anybody now. Which I think it's pretty cool to not share a border, because you only have to defend your waters and not have somebody right next to you. Mexico is like the only threat the U.S. really has that's right next to them. If they take over Canada, they just have to deal with Mexico. Which I think Mexico is way weaker, obviously, so they're not going to push it. Which is why we haven't gotten a war with Mexico since, like, 200 years or something. Maybe, like, a dispute war, like, for the Texan River thing. I don't know. I heard that from some geography guy on YouTube. But other than that, I think, yeah, we haven't gotten a war from Mexico for, like, 200 years or something. Mexico took the L, and for $5 million less, they had to sell us their entire Californian area, only getting the Baja to themselves. But even with that, I'm a little too greedy, and I think we should get the Baja California as well. They don't need Baja California, we do. Without Jesus. You know, I think this is an improved version of the drawing I made. Hora mite 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 kono hora. きっと人だよ。ほら見ちゃダメ見ちゃな眩しいよ。きっと人だよ。I don't know 韓国語 so I'm not gonna sing this part. なぜとこいつ信じらねえ。
Himamu. Boku no ora vivu. Pyong, 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 pyong. Saiten da. Aitai, aitai, aishiden. Kachide mami super kyanti vemi egui yo. Uchi no ora vivu. Pyong, 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 pyong. Saiten da. Gengai nam gai na budenki no the Pacific candy baby egui yo. That means if I can't say baby die your net too. Well, obviously I could sing it better if I tried, but who cares about my effort in this video? You're just tired of me edging the drawing, and yeah. I know I've been edging you guys, but I promise always with genuine artwork, so I'm going to show you before I leave the video. Before I end the video, I'm going to show you really quick. I don't speak Kankokugo, so I can't do the Oni part. Like, I can't do that part because Kankokugo is... No. I don't want to learn Kankokugo because of Kitachosen, because Kitachosen is, like, it's a whole other thing. Like, technically, yes, someday the Koreans might have a difference in language, but for now, it's relatable because it's only been, like, 100 years. But their dialects are kind of gonna slowly shift them different because their borders are closing on each other slowly. Unless they unite, we might see North Korea have a different language soon. And we might have to call it North Korean, but for now, they both use the language of Korean. Yeah, it's because of the controversy, and there aren't as many Koreans, and population's kind of and also because they have borders with North Korea, and too controversial to do. Sorry to you Koreans, I'm not racist. I do recognize you as an I do recognize you, but sorry, Koreans. I do know not Korean, I do know what Korea it means in Japanese, and I do obviously know what the north side means in Japanese, and I obviously know how to say, like, a Korean person in Japanese, and yeah. You know, like, Kankokujin and Kankokugo, which is Korean, and Kankoku, which is Korea, and then Kitachosen, which, as you see, Kitachosen is like a totally different name, and I think that had to do with World War II. Because of that, that's why they give them that name for North Korea, and of course we use Kankokugo, and instead we say Kitachosenjin and Kankokugo for them, because they obviously don't have a language difference, so it's just Kankokugo. Yeah, I only had to get relative with the Korean people because of that one part! Of course, stupid Korean creators. I'm sorry if I called you stupid Korean creators. Please forgive me. But because these Korean creators, obviously they had to take that one part in the song. Nah. This looks a little bit like a wolves versus cats drawing, actually. Okay. It's been an hour. You're tired of watching this, and I'm also tired of doing this. I'm not gonna sing Kankokugo no matter if you put a gun up my head. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not racist, I just don't want to. And it's my freedom of speech, because we're in da 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 da. Yeah, we're in America, so I have freedom, and I don't have to do that. Yeah, but Kim Jong-un would force me to sing his national anthem, or something stupid. But yeah, of course, the languages do have a relation with a lot of things. But, of course, I can only know the differences because consonants do not go by themselves in Japanese. And, of course, the reading system is completely different. So that's how I can tell the three Asian languages apart. I don't even need to see it. Only kanji is Chinese. Kanji plus 2 extra reading systems is Japanese, and Korean has bubbles, and it doesn't use any kanji at all. Like, it has some bubble-like reading system. Yeah, it's already hard enough to know Japanese. I'm not gonna push myself. Plus, I don't need to. No necessities. I just get my translations from Korean to Japanese, and that'll be good. Oh, God! My hands are hurting. After 1 hour of drawing, I'm gonna just sign this right here. There we go. And a DC and bombarding. Oh, great, boys. I can finally get off my butt. Oh, God. Oh, 1 hour and 12 minutes of torture. Oh. Yacht! That was tiring. No, I'm not gonna throw away the OG, but I am gonna show you the OG. Because my yacht is hurting. This I'm gonna just lay on my bed. I'm gonna do my assignment and then lay on my bed. Oh man, it's like 2:30-ish, man. Oh, I gotta get to the back of the book for this. Alright. I'm gonna see the differences. Of course, the other Yakuzen drawings are okay. These are good. These Yakuzens are pretty, Sigma, especially her. Now for the good. Oh, yeah, better than the OG. Artist list. Which one do you like better? Copied VinRL's signature artist list thing, because he does a rolling R for instead of out, he does ara. As an ara. Alright, I'm gonna show you them. Okay, here's the OG. Before I leave, here's the OG. And here's the OG. 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 OG, 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 G, 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 G. The OG one, which looks like this. Okay. See that? It's a little more effort for the areas. And there's the new one. Here, OG, new one. OG, new one. OG, a new one. Now, of course, I'm obviously not going to, change them, but, here is, yeah, just tell me which one's better. We already know which one's gonna win. Now, I might have to fix the eyes off camera, because they are uneven, as I can see, but that's it for this video.
Megamare out.